Oh my god, I don't know what it is about today, but it feels like extra hard. First off, it's freezing outside. I gave Reagan a bunch of kisses. I tucked her into her blankie in the car, buckled her in, and I said goodbye. And she was laughing so much. And I don't know, it just felt extra hard to say goodbye today. I mean, we're coming off of the weekend, and so I've been with her since Friday. I mean, you know, outside of like Will taking her. I don't know why, it's just really sad today. It's just past 7 this morning and Will had already left. He's been having a to-do cooking chicken item on his list for days. He had bought a bunch of chicken last week and he was supposed to have made it for his lunch. I'm thinking I'll just cook this. I don't know what today's date is. I know it needs to be cooked. But while I'm cooking this chicken, I have some ground beef for Reagan that we had bought that needs to be prepped as well. Hi, Will. Letting you know that I was gonna cook your chicken for you. I'm already starting. But I wanted to find out, like, respectfully, if you had a way in which I cooked it. I mean, I'm already melting butter. I was gonna cook her ground beef too, but did you want like a certain sauce? I can dice these up. Also, if you want, I can prep sides. I have like nothing to do for 3 hours, so I'm just trying to think proactively. Okay, so it is just before 9 o'clock, and I gotta go get dressed. I have still an hour to go before I work. That part kind of stinks about the Pacific Coast hours, I would say, because I get up in the morning with Will and Reagan and then I'm stuck awake. But I was trying to be pretty productive this morning. I have all this for Reagan. This is just an example of what is in here. I have some mixed veggies, and then this is like a kind of like a hamburger helper, but it says it's lasagna, and that's what I ended up mixing with the ground beef because I saw we had a box, so I was like, all right, I'll do that. And that's what all of these pretty much are down the tower here. And then I figured the other empty square can be for either applesauce or for fruit in the moment on the day. And then these are the ones I prepped for Will. This is pretty much what's in them. Some of the mixed veggies I added to Will's just because I had some extra, so most of these don't have the mixed vegetables, but I cooked some chicken. He asked for a specific seasoning, so I used it. And then he has a bit of rice and a bit of green beans. That's pretty much his meal. And so he will be taking these to work. We're trying to collectively eat cleaner in this house. We have our own diet goals as far as weight and whatnot, but generally speaking, we're trying to eat cleaner and reduce the amount of fake junk that's going through our bodies. And so Will has been saying he prefers to start his day with breakfast, not immediately upon waking, but he has a meal before noon. And so he wants to prep himself some oatmeal and then with some fruit. So we have some berries in the fridge. So he did grab that for this morning. He just doesn't have any lunch with him. And then sometimes he does yogurt, and again, we're just trying to eat clean. I have some avocados, and Will had bought some bread. I know bread's not the greatest, but the idea would be to have some toast, avocado toast. I like avocados plain. I could eat this like an apple. Maybe some people find that gross, but I'm not actually into guac. I prefer just an avocado plain, as funny as that is. I've been pretty bad when it comes to eating fake junk, and I think my stomach is not keeping up with me, and so I'm trying to be nicer to my body and just eat cleaner and more real foods and reduce the amount of fake stuff flowing through my body, which means a lot of fake stuff has to stop coming into our house. But that's pretty much what I had done this morning, is prep their food. Now I just need to clean up my dishes from my food prep. And then I'm gonna head upstairs and officially start the day, since I've just been kind of goofing off down here. Okay, so it is pretty much creeping up on that 10 o'clock hour. I am just starting to get my computer situated, and then I will officially start my day. So I pretty much did everything I wanted to do this morning. I'm still just like opening windows and getting the world set up with that, but I got the laundry started. I got the other clothes folded. All the food for the week has been prepped outside of dinner, not counting Reagan's. Dogs have been fed. I think I'm pretty good. I'm in a good point. I think the only thing I have to do is sit down, focus on work, and that's basically it. I feel very accomplished. Oh, good morning.
Good morning.
How are you? That's my brush.
I like to use it so that I can feel like I have a piece of Casey when I walk out the door.
Hi, Reagan. Boop. How are you today? It's early. It's too early for this. Would you like some juice? Morning juice? Yeah. There you go. I want to back off her. She's wanting juice. Reagan technically doesn't get juice at school. They only do milk and water, which is what you're supposed to do. But I think sometimes a little juice can be a nice treat. We probably give Reagan maybe a juice a day. I'm not sure how accurate that is, but she'll drink that along with the water and whatnot. We kind of use it like a snack, not as a liquid. So I guess we're okay to bend the rules with that. You guys need to go out. It's freezing out there. Hey, but be my guest. Are you ready to leave? It's your last day of school this week, and then tomorrow we hit the road. So why are you up an hour earlier than usual?
That's because Miss Page has to be at the daycare facility an hour earlier because today Daddy's got to drive all the way south to Sandy Springs to work to pick up his little schminions before going all the way north to South Carolina.
And you're coming all the way back home?
All the way back home on the same day to pick her back up from daycare.
School.
Pick her back up from
Reagan, give me a hug. I'm gonna miss you.
We're good.
Go to Daddy.
We gotta go. We gotta help. No. But
I love you, Reagan. It's your last day and you got off tomorrow. And guess what? Daddy's got off too. Hey man, you forgot your wallet.
thank you.
Love you.
Love you.
Hey,
What?
your headlight's going out. Do you see what's happening right now? Will is leaving in his new car. The poor van is winking. So he started driving towards the end of the neighborhood, and I don't know what it is that filled him inside, but he had thought, oh my gosh, I'm gonna turn around. I do not want to get pulled over today. Probably because he's got to get to work and he's got everything going on, and it's super dark right now. But basically, he has a headlight out. When he was turning on the van, I'm not sure if the clip made it, but he was turning it on, and then it looked like it flickered on and then off. He never took the empty Reagan bottle. Alright, so I still have to get officially ready for today, but as before, got my morning chores generally out of the way. I just need to go upstairs and get myself dressed. But I have dogs packed for boarding. I need to still pack both mine and Reagan's clothes, and then tonight Will can pack his. I'm pretty excited to get to Florida. We've not been in a little bit of time. I think the last time we've been to Florida, we weren't there on the greatest terms, and so it would be nice to give it better justice. We've been probably back and forth to that state a dozen times now, if that many. But this last go around, we were there just a couple months ago, not even. And we were dealing with my dad's house. I guess to kind of give some insight, when my dad had died, he had left behind his house. It's not the one I had grown up in, but he just bought it about less than 4 months before he had passed away. His second official home. Between me and Erica, we decided that, we don't want the home. We have no interest in it. The location it's in isn't justifiable. There's perks to having the house in general, but it didn't make sense to own it. And so we had made it a priority to, as soon as we could, part ways with the house. Turned out that was a lot harder to put into action than it was to just do. For those who don't know, when somebody passes away, unless there's specific wills or legal paperwork that specifies otherwise, generally speaking, any sort of assets left behind, the living heirs have a right to inheritance. The only thing that really stinks about this inheritance concept is you kind of inherit the problems that come with the items left behind. To put it lightly, my dad had allowed his older brother to come live with him in this new house shortly after closing on it. They've always kind of had this close connection and bond. I mean, they're siblings, but I think it's more just because my dad was always trying to be the better person, but also I think he was a bit lonely. Once the excitement of his granddaughter and his life out in Phoenix kind of faded, he started to adapt into his new home life, and then very quickly had reached out to his brother. With respect to his brother, is to not get into too many details, being that I don't know where his life's ultimately going to take him, and I don't think it's my place to tell his story. For the most part, though, he's kind of lived in this crisis mindset, at least for the last several years. He is completely upside down as far as his living situation and his finances that surround living for any sort of capacity you could come up with. He had been able to spend his time with my dad, and I think they've had a lot of good memories together, even just for the few short months. But when my dad had passed away, his brother still remained, and all of the lack thereof in his life continued, but now became our life. I think family is going to be the only critic to this commentary, if anything, just because it is touchy subject. But as far as just coming from a fully factual, non-emotional place, we inherited a bigger problem than we knew of just thinking it was the house. Between me and Erica, we had to go from early April to the very end of December doing things in regard to my dad's estate, but the house piece dragged on the whole time. We had to do all of the legal paperwork and whatnot and court cases relevant to make the homestead our official property. Just from a legal end, being the living heirs, all that includes from like a probate end and any sort of summary administration and all that fine lingo. But then once the house is yours, you can then put it up on the market and then sell it. That part was actually pretty easy. It had its hiccups. We had our first buyer fall out just before closing. We were able to make it work. We were just a couple days shy from ending 2021 with this house, but we made it in the nick of time. What does that have to do with us being in Florida, though? A couple months ago, we finally completed turning over the property from our uncle into us, being Erica and myself. We tried to wager with this person for months. We tried bribing this person. It hit a point where we're like, okay, like how many times are we going to be paying utility bills for our own brand new houses we're living in our lives in Georgia, plus this house and so forth and this and that. And there was just so much going on. And at that time, I had stepped away from work. Me and Will were, just trying to focus on our family, but we always had this issue still present. And then to jump to it, it hit a point where our uncle wasn't leaving, and so we had to file an eviction. It sounds gross, it sounds cruel, this is your family, but me and Erica had a goal of selling this house, and in order to achieve that goal, we needed the house to be fully vacant and cleaned out, and we could not do that without everybody who could have considered it a home being out of it. We've had a lot of support from our extended family. Everybody's been very much so empathetic towards the situation. There's only been a couple people along the way that have felt that what we were doing wasn't appropriate, being that he should have the right to stay there. But besides those couple people, everybody else has been really helpful with, I guess, allowing us to continue on with grieving the loss of our dad. We had a trip in October to go up north, and so we knew at that time, while the house was now officially vacant, that we would have to at some point make our way to Florida and empty it out. We didn't know at the time that the house wasn't in the greatest state. I think when my uncle finally left it one last time, I think there was a lot of emotion and anger on his end, and I don't think he left it in the greatest state on purpose. I think he may have, out of spite, taken any sort of items or furniture pieces left in that house, any sort of remaining mementos or things passed down from family. I know any furniture he had brought into the home, he was going to leave if he wasn't planning to move it to his next place. But I didn't expect to find food left everywhere, bugs everywhere, fist punches in the walls. I didn't expect such disgust, but we tried to document everything. It was a little difficult balancing the desire to vlog, but at the same time work with cleaning up the place, ensuring it's safe to put Reagan on the ground in, and so forth.
Like your dad's nice plates and things that he worked so hard to keep.
Like these plates I remember growing up with.
Yeah, these ones. It's like, you know what? You have no choice. Just gotta throw it all away. Really have to throw it all away.
The whole place reeks. There's these little flies everywhere. This is really unhealthy. This isn't okay for anyone. Oh, if you weren't sick, being here in a place like this would make you sick.
So we are getting ready to set off some foggers. Reagan has a slight fever here, so we are just trying to keep her cool while the Tylenol kicks in. So it was all hands on deck cleaning the house, and everything looks generally better. We got the floors mopped, sort of, first round. Obviously there's a ton of stuff over here.
We've done 3 rounds on this floor. Do not undersell us. Like, we were scrubbing every individual tile. Well, it's laminate tile. as soon as you'd finish, you'd turn around and realize it looks dirty because the next layer of dirt's ready to be cleaned up.
Alright, so this is how the fridge ended up turning out. I guess we'll see tomorrow if any bugs come back.
It's still unplugged, right?
Yeah.
Let's just leave it open for the foggers.
Oh yeah. Kind of walk me through some of the stuff you've done today.
Okay, everything. So right now, I feel like I'm specialist because I got like 14 foggers on me ready to go. Whole day, 2 lazy boys, a couch, and multiple coffee tables out of here, a rug, miscellaneous debris, carpet out of both rooms, all the pots and pans, everything's just trash. Everything that if it's not bolted to the wall, it's out. We filled up, it's good for probably 2,500 pounds of debris plus the furniture, and then just clean, scrub toilets, fixed holes in walls. There was a outlet that was over here that I've now fixed that, and I still have a couple of things to get it to seal. And then we've had to address the plumbing because the plumbing was backed up. All right, time to fill up my foggers. Here we go.
We are getting ready to lock this place up, and hopefully we won't be coming back here. And after a long, hard weekend between myself, Erica, Will, Reagan, even my grandfather stepped in, we were able to get that place cleaned out, emptied, and prepped to go on the market the very next day. While that took a lot of energy, that was the last time I've been to Florida. That's the last time Will has been to Florida. And it would be really nice to go to Florida this weekend with a better mindset and not have any sort of chores in our to-do list. This weekend specifically is to go to Legoland with Reagan, get to experience the theme park as long as the weather's good. She's young, but it's supposed to be fun. I figured, hey, why not? Maybe it's gonna be more fun for me. I've been talking about Legoland for years. And then more so, the opportunity to go down there is to make our way towards that Boca Grande, Southern Florida direction. Will's dad had worked out there for many years. Being that we are creeping up here in days on the 1 year mark that it's been since Will's dad had passed. He wanted to do something to just kind of sit back, relax, and think of the good times, but kind of be in his dad's space, spiritual space, which was where he spent most of his living hours for the last 20 years, which is in that Boca Grande area. So we're going to be getting on a boat, doing some fishing, and then, like I said, just kind of relaxing and honoring his dad. The whole trip, though, is going to have some positive moments. I have had something in Tampa that I've been wanting to show Will for few months now, at least. I would love to take him. He has no idea. The only thing he knows is I would like to go on a walk in downtown Tampa, because that's where our lives started. Not in downtown, but we met each other at our university and decided to start our lives together and join hands just after, of course, graduating college. But I keep saying, that's where our lives started, out in Florida, Tampa, at the university. So there's this place, to not get into too much detail for next time, downtown, that I want to show him, to just kind of, I guess, mark where our lives started. So I'm excited about that. I will be vlogging the whole time. I promise I will try my best. I'm bringing my charger, my batteries. We will make sure we get some good footage this weekend. I will make it my goal. So until next time.